Liverpool are optimistic they can sign Jude Bellingham for 90 to 100 million euros, which is around 81 to 90 million pounds, but no more. If that is the case, we won't be getting them, because I would class that fee as underrating the value.
This video is being brought to you with thanks to our friends at Surfshark. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to not only browse the internet entirely anonymously, but also very securely. Surfshark will secure your data with industry-leading measures using uncrackable encryption and the most secure VPN protocols. One subscription with Surfshark will work across all of your devices. I use it for unlocking things like American Netflix. We also use it if we want to watch our Canadian DAZN account and a couple of other bits and pieces. The good news is you can get 83% off. That's right, I did say 83% off. And an additional 3 months free using the Anfield Agenda link in the description. They've also got a really credible and unique 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like Surfshark, it doesn't meet your needs, which I'm going to be honest with you, it will and you won't. But if you do, if you want to change, Surfshark give you 30 days to change your mind. Why not give Surfshark a try? You'll be supporting us here at Anfield Agenda and you'll be treating yourself to the best VPN provider out there, bar none.
Jude Bellingham, absolutely exceptional. Even in the first half, which was a dire watch. In the second half, when England were playing so well, everything good came through Jude Bellingham. And that makes it no surprise to wonder why Todd Boehly is very, very interested in wading in on the whole Bellingham saga. Obviously, Liverpool and Real Madrid are the two favourites for his signature, but Chelsea want a piece of him as well. And you can't blame him, mate, because what a player he is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, he was magisterial, a good enough word. He was fantastic for England, and he was fantastic when I watched Dortmund against City as well. He plays with a maturity beyond his years. It's quite frightening, really. But yeah, he was great for England. He was given man of the match, and rightfully so. He was my pick. And yeah, Chelsea in from, not surprising. Everyone with a bit of money and a bit of pedigree is going to be in for Jude Bellingham. Now, sometimes I'll be wary of Chelsea for certain deals. I think they could provide stiff competition. They probably will offer more money and more wages, but I feel like we are wholly and by far and away a better option than Chelsea. So I wouldn't be too worried about Chelsea. If there was any English side, it would be Man City, and of course they are going to be in from. So it's going to be interesting. But on the whole Bellingham stuff and the price that could be involved, a report via Shoria80 has said Liverpool are optimistic they can sign Jude Bellingham for 90 to 100 million euros, which is around 81 to 90 million pounds, but no more. If that is the case, we won't be getting them, because I would class that fee as underrating the value.
I mean, maybe it's like a flat original fee with add-ons on top of that, potentially, but it would have to be a lot of bloody add-ons.
Yeah, listen, Jude. Yeah, you're going to be paying over 100 million pounds for Jude Bellingham, and if you're not willing to, then you clearly don't value the player as he should be valued. He's a man that can give you over a decade of service. He's a man that you can sign, get 5 years out of, and sell on for a profit. With the way football's going, so it's an absolute no-brainer. He's a player that slots into our right side perfectly. You know, as Craig has told us for about 18 months now, and confirmed the interest is there from the club. We are firmly, interested in doing a deal, as is the Bellingham side. But if we're going to completely take the piss with the financials, when you have the likes of a Man City and Chelsea and a Real Madrid, even, we're not going to get him. As much as he'll want to come, want to work with Klopp, play with Henderson, blah blah blah. There's only so much you can overlook, and if we're going to undercut his value by the guts of 20 million or 15 million, Dortmund and him are both going to say feck off.
It is so true, isn't it? It's one that I've been so convinced by Craig that we're going to get him. Like, I'm firmly in the camp that we're still going to get him, but I do worry that if we try and play hardball and cut corners with finances, that we will miss out on a player who could be one of the best English midfielders we will ever see.
Listen, yeah. You look how good Gerrard was when he broke onto the scene, and look at the age. He's probably the best teenager since Rooney, and then Gerrard before that. So the quality of this player shouldn't be understated. It's not just one of them. It's not just a random young player. It's a kid who was 19, and has the experience that a 25-year-old would love, a 24-year-old would love. He ticks every single box under the sun. He is the most idealistic transfer we'll have had in many years. And FSG love cutting corners in the transfer market, and they're never willing to kind of push the boat out. Like we've seen rumors with all sorts, Caicedo and different players, and they weren't willing to pay that premium, so we settled for a free or a loan, even in Artur Melo. We can forgive those little cutting corners if you put your money where your mouth is when it comes to this sort of deal. If we miss out on Jude Bellingham, FSG will face the strictest scrutiny they've ever faced from Liverpool fans since they began. I would imagine. Even honestly, you might not think it, even stricter than the fallout from the Super League, because I feel like that was their first strike. So we are kind of like, okay, just apologize and move on. This would be, they would be under serious pressure.
Yeah. And it's, to be honest with you, I think it's a very, very crucial deal in the future of that position in our club anyway. Because if you look at it, Thiago and Henderson are approaching the end of their careers. Really, maybe Thiago's got 2 or 3 years left before he's phased out completely because he hasn't really played as much football as the others. But then you've got Fabinho's 28. Fair enough, he'll probably be 4 or 5 years. But then you're looking at Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Keita, who are all out of contract next summer. Harvey Elliott and Fabio Carvalho, love them. They are still kids. So we obviously they will be integrated in more and more and more, but they're not it. He is it, Mr. Bellingham. He is literally it. Like the thing that really noticeable for me about him was whenever he got the ball, even whether it was a counter attack, whether it was anything, his first look was always forward. That for me showcases a real attacking instinct that I think hasn't really been truly unlocked yet, but could be in the future.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything you're saying. There's not enough words and adjectives to kind of describe how perfect he is as a player. A lot of people, I've seen questions, over the last few months, were actually questioning his quality. Now, I suppose that's fair enough if you don't watch the Bundesliga a lot, because he's not one of them. People kind of love to judge players on goals and assists and highlight reels. So we can assure you, and anyone who knows the player, he is the dog's bollocks. And I'm really excited to see him at Anfield. It was nice to see him in the English red the other day. It was a kind of a dress rehearsal for the Anfield red with the number 8 on the back as well. Obviously the current occupant of the number 8 shirt is one Naby Keita, and we would be needing him to vacate. And on that, via Fabrizio Romano, did you like that little segue? Borussia Dortmund are among the 3 to 4 clubs around Europe interested in Naby Keita in case he becomes a free agent. Now, first of all, do you believe he will become a free agent? And secondly, what value do you? Well, he'd be a free agent, so we'd have no value. But do you think we could kind of use him, sway Naby to go to Dortmund as part of the Bellingham deal?
Firstly, the thing is, there's been the quotes have been that he wants assurances about first team game time. How can anyone give him assurances when he's injured for more than 50% of the games? It's not like he's not been selected. Like when he's been fit and ready, most of the time he plays. But
I think is right. I do rate Naby Keita. His injuries have obviously let him down, but I do rate him.
How can a club give him assurances if he's never going to be fit?
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing that for me, he has got no power here. And I think he's trying to flex his muscles and try and be the domineering party. However, he can't be, because he's played 76 league matches for Liverpool in a time where I believe there's been 150. So you're saying that he's only going to be available for half, which is for the 53 million pounds that we paid, or 54 million, is ludicrous. It's shocking. It's probably one of the worst I've seen. And he's not got the Thiago tax where he is literally different gravy, so we sort of allow it. He's good, don't get me wrong, but he's not that good. He's not Thiago good. So yeah, no. I don't know how he's got any power. But in terms of will he become a free agent, I don't know whether the club will do it or not, or whether they. I think it all depends on whether he can agree to it and whether they can actually convince him that he's got no leg to stand on, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, I don't see. There's already seems to be discrepancies between the two parties. I just don't see a deal getting done. I don't see why the club necessarily would want him to sign a new deal. You know, a fit Naby Keita, if the club could get assurances by God or whoever that he would be fit, you know, then yeah, I'd be giving him a new deal, because I do rate the midfielder, and it could have been a total different story had he never suffered these injury kind of problems. But at this stage, he's a ticking time bomb when it comes to injuries. So yeah, I don't expect the club to reach a deal with Naby, and I do expect him to leave on a free. Whether that be to Dortmund, I don't know. Another club who are potentially interested would be Leipzig in taking him back. I seen reported last week.